You're listening to Sister Stargazers, celestial and terrestrial observations and advice from two real-life sisters. Well, welcome, fellow stargazers. The sisters are in the house. Hi, Jude.
Good morning.
It is a good morning. It's a fantastic morning. And this is episode 7, and we're going to be looking at the week of Sunday, October the 24th, through Saturday, October the 30th. So let's get started. What's in the Astroverse this week?
Well, the Astroverse is being very considerate. And that word means with the stars. So, we have some things that we can work with this week for sure. The moon moves from Gemini into Cancer and then into Leo by Thursday. The first part of the week, there's some unsettlement with Mercury quincunx Uranus. So you may get some inklings of ideas, but they're not, they might be like really far out. You're wondering how you can completely, bring them into fruition. They might be really, really interesting, but maybe the timing's off. Tuesday, there's Venus square Neptune, which again is bringing up kind of your passion and inspiration, but again the timing isn't quite right. You're thinking, how could that possibly happen? I mean, that makes me feel so good. That's a great idea. And then by Thursday, we've got the moon square sun. We've got Venus making a sextile to Jupiter, which is where the heart of the week is. That's going to be where some visioning can happen. And that Venus sextile Jupiter, you'll start to feel it the day before, even maybe 2 days before, because it's lining up. It's exact on Thursday. But this week, consider, be with your heart, basically, is what some of the astrology is addressing here.
That sounds pretty good. So just to back up a second, so we're leaving this full moon that happened last week, and we're in the last quarter of the moon. And we're actually now in Scorpio. So we've left Libra. So happy birthday, all Scorpios out there. So does that have any significance about what Scorpio time is like?
Well, yeah, Scorpio is the deep feeling time of year. So there's a lot of harvesting going on, out in the external world. Of course, the plants, the animals are all harvesting, collecting. The seed pods are drying and then popping open to spread their seeds. So there's a lot of harvesting. There's a lot of fruition. And in this part of the year, there's a lot of, and we can talk about this in terms of Venus making an appearance in the western sky on Friday. She's been riding with the sun. She's now separating from the sun to a point where she will appear in the western sky after sunset and be very bright. But Venus appearing in the west is also kind of coinciding at this time with the understanding of the meaning of experiences that we've been through this year. We are coming to some closures, and Venus is kind of looking at and sorting out all of what has gone before. So we can look at all of the emotional content of the experiences of the year, the emotional makeup, the emotional desires, the ideals that were formulated during the first half of the year when Venus was in her morning star cycle, now are coming up to be reviewed, to be integrated, to be resolved, to be released. So Venus on Thursday makes a sextile to Jupiter. Venus is in Sagittarius, which is big thinking, what's over the horizon. And then Jupiter is just like, yeah, what is over the horizon? This could be so incredible and just brilliant and just such an amazing thing. And but all of these ideas they're all in embryonic stage. They haven't kind of come to harvest yet.
Yeah, right.
So it's a great week to take note of your ideas and to dream, but not so much to take action.
That seems to have been a theme kind of for this fall already. Now we're just continuing to sort of evaluate, reevaluate, reflect. So a good tool may be to journal a little bit, maybe just to write down thoughts that come up, questions that come up, ideas, thoughts, feelings, which again goes back to now this time of Scorpio, deep feelings, I like what you said about this harvest phase of evaluating where we are and getting ready kind of to put the year to bed in a way.
Yeah, and there's more, there's more to recover, uncover, because, Mercury is now direct. It went direct on the 18th, but it's not out of its shadow phase yet. So it's still recovering the ground that it was retrograde, that it was backing up into.
You mean it's in its own shadow? Like it's coming through its own shadow?
It's like a steamroller that goes, back and forth over the
Right, the same territory.
yeah, it backed up over the asphalt and now it's moving forward again, but it's not out of the asphalt that it just backed up over, if that makes sense.
That's a nice analogy. Yeah,
Well,
sure.
steamroller, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of, so it's recovering old ground. It's basically re-rolling, recovering.
Yes.
So that's called, it's post retrograde shadow phase. It won't be into new territory or new degrees until the first week of November. So again, it's that idea of recovering, reconsidering ideas that came up during the retrograde that might be worthy of some more additional thought, some additional consideration.
Yeah.
And then Mars on Saturday moves into Scorpio. So Mars has been traveling with the sun. And by Saturday, will be moving into Scorpio to activate the recovery process or the uncovering process. So Mars will give us courage to look at those deep feelings, to look at those deep desires that is the domain of Scorpio, and see, what might be holding us back, what might be our deepest desires. But that will be the kind of the flavor of Mars moving through Scorpio is really helping us feel.
It can be a lot that can come up, which is why maybe journaling or even just giving yourselves time to, when these ideas come up, just acknowledge the idea, not necessarily have to worry too much about any action to take on the idea. Some questions I think about when journaling or when just looking at trying to consolidate what could be a lot of thoughts in my head and can be confusing is just to ask one question at a time. And I keep a little list of questions by my desk so that when I'm feeling overwhelmed, I can just act on one clear idea. And I didn't invent these. These came from Lee Harris, who's an energy intuitive, but the questions that he recommends are: what am I here for? What do I need? Who can I serve? And what should I do? And sometimes just asking a question can help us to focus all these thoughts.
Keeping a journal is a perfect segue to really monitoring those feelings. And I wanted to just mention that the moon squares the sun on Thursday, right within that hour of Venus sextiling Jupiter. So they're almost one event. So on Thursday, the 28th, between 3 and 5 Eastern time, you've got the last quarter moon. And then you've also got this Venus sextile Jupiter, which is saying, what's the big picture? What do I want to create? Let's look at the big picture. Let's look at blue sky thinking. And at the same time, the sun moon square is saying, well, the sun's in Scorpio. What do I feel? What do I desire? What do I feel? And then the moon in Leo is like, yeah, let's make it happen. Let's express ourselves. So you've got this dynamic of feeling deeply, wanting to express. The timing is not right. You can ask that question, like you were mentioning, what do I want to express? And that will help you determine, that will help you feed your Venus, feed your vision, because it's not going to be the time to act. This is going to be the time to formulate and to consider and to vision.
And this is just really the first week of Scorpio. So we do have this whole Scorpio time. We're really just beginning to enter Scorpio. So this is the beginning of this reflection period of the harvesting of the meaning of the experience of the year. And as we were talking about it and planning for this episode, it made me think of the poet Rainer Maria Rilke and his work, Letters to a Young Poet. And I wanted to share it. I'm sure many people are familiar with it. this is a piece of literature I return to in those times of sort of being overwhelmed, or what is the right course of action, or what should I do? So I'm just going to read one of the most quoted portions of this Letters to a Young Poet, and it reads, "Be patient towards all that is unsolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves. Like locked rooms and like books that are written in a very foreign tongue, do not now seek the answers which cannot be given you because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. Perhaps you will then gradually, without noticing it, live along some distant day into the answer." And I feel like that really encapsulates this time right now, sort of to be with the questions, be with the feelings, knowing that we will be stepping into a time when action might become more apparent, or the steps to take will sort of reveal themselves because we've done the reflecting and the question asking.
That is beautiful. Thank you.
My 2 cents. For what it's worth.
Awesome.
It feels like Venus is really on our side right now with her presence. And we were also talking about, when you slice an apple and you see those 5 points of the core inside, like that's a Venus expression, and that to maybe keep an eye out for how Venus could show up in our daily lives.
Right, exactly. Any fivefold symmetry. So a rose unfolding, a star, pentacle, that fractal pattern of that inner core of the apple is a reflection, or a pear is a reflection of Venus. Yeah. So yeah, let that come through.
Let's call on Venus. Maybe you could just doodle some 5-pointed stars.
A pentacle, exactly.
To call on Venus. If you don't feel like journaling, you can just doodle 5-pointed stars.
Post your pentacle doodles. Let's see them.
Yeah, that would be fun. A pentacle doodle challenge. Sister Stargazers now bring you, stargazers.
Yes.
Let's gaze at some pentacles. That would be fun.
Right.
Hey, upload your pentacle doodles. Yeah. Sister Stargazer on Facebook. And our website is coming soon. We're working on that and getting that ready.
And share and like us on Facebook. We could use some new likes and some new shares. And we know this information is important and we want to get it out there.
Well, I guess that may wrap it up then for episode 7, which has covered Sunday, the 24th of October through Saturday, the 30th. And we'll see you in November then.
Yeah, and we can talk about eclipses.
Eclipses. So much coming up. Well, for now, that's all, everybody. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Sister Stargazers. Let us know what worked for you this week. Find us on Facebook and post a comment at Sister Stargazers.